Today we're here with Brian Janous, the Director of Energy Strategy at Microsoft. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, Rob.
So you started out in the energy sector. What brought you to a tech company like Microsoft?
Well, with the growth of cloud computing, it really is an exciting time to be at the nexus of both energy and IT. Because energy is the raw material of the cloud, it really is an interesting space to be sitting in between those two sectors.
And where does your team's work fit into Microsoft's environmental sustainability goals?
Well, our energy consumption is a large part of our carbon footprint, and so we're squarely in the middle of thinking about how do we integrate renewable energy into our growth plans, how do we integrate more efficient generation into our footprint, and then how do we also manage an ever shrinking water resource in our data center environments.
And why are things like the recent Keachai power purchase agreement important to Microsoft?
Well, they're significant because they represent sort of our first big move into directly purchasing renewable energy. And so I think it's a step in a direction that we've been looking at going for a while as a company, and it's really opened up the doors for us to think differently about how we procure power for our data centers.
You know, looking at some of the research Microsoft's been doing around data centers, are off-the-grid data centers the future?
I didn't really look at off the grid as an objective in and of itself. It's an opportunity as we think about integrating new technology behind our meter and how that connects into the grid and how it can be a resource back to the grid. And so while I think we are going to see continued trends toward more distributed technology, it's not necessarily the goal of going off grid, but just being smarter about how we deploy resources.
What can we expect to see over the next few years for Microsoft's energy investments?
Well, I think you'll see continued movement into large renewable projects like the Keachai project, but also significantly greater investment in distributed technology, things like fuel cells and next generation smaller scale technology that can be deployed in our environment, both for reducing costs, reducing emissions, and also creating greater availability and reliability at the data center level.
Then more broadly, what do you think will be the greatest energy need globally in the next 20 years?
I think water is going to be a significant challenge because it impacts not only things like agriculture, but it directly impacts energy generation. There's a significant need for water in supplying resource to large-scale generation projects, and that's going to be a significant challenge going forward.
All right, thanks for your input, Brian.
All right, thank you.